G'day folks, welcome back to Pete's Investing. It's 26th of March 2024. This is the market update for various markets around the world. As you can see there, the SP500, the NASDAQ, the Japanese Nikkei and the GermanDax. Before we go to the charts, let's have a look at the trend table. So we cover all these instruments, and in the bottom there you can see the market update for the US, German, Japan and the NASDAQ, and also a few FOREX pairs as well. Now you'll notice the US and the German markets are still predominantly long trends, whereas the Japanese and the NASDAQ are showing some signs of neutral positioning on the weekly and daily respectively. So first looking at the US market, the SP 500, you can see there where the CCI 1500 is still in a pretty strong uptrend, although we do have a bearish divergence on the CCI 150. And that's been playing out since around December last year. So when is the bubble going to burst? Who knows? No sign yet. On the hourly chart, the stochastic market forecast indicator is showing an overbought signal, again, since around November, December last year. And no sign yet of it breaking to the downside around the 75 level at the very least. So pretty strong still. Zooming into the CCI 150, our divergence indicator, you can see there we've been having a few divergence across the board. So bearish divergence there between lower highs there versus higher highs on the price, and the price did fall off. And just to zoom in a bit on this one, if I draw a Fibonacci on that one, for example, between that range, you can see there it hit that 38% level in each of these cases. So I won't draw the Fibonacci's on all of them, but you can see there was another divergence there that went actually probably a bit lower. Another divergence, small divergence there, a bullish divergence there. You would have been good to take that trade there, going long in a direction of the longer time frame, and so on. And more recently, we had a bearish divergence there. It fell off again, and currently another bearish divergence at the moment on that one, and that's also falling off as well. Now, has this reached its potential target area? If we take it down to that level, you can see there it's already penetrated the 23 to 38% level of that range. So if we drew that's a minimum target level. Of course, you can go much further, and if it breaks below the 61%, especially if it breaks below this bigger trend line, then we're going to be seeing potentially the start. But at the moment, I'd like to see this stochastic market forecast drop below the 75 at least. Then ultimately, if we do see a correction or a major correction in the market, it will break below that 50 level. You can see what it did back there. And if I zoom out, you can see there when it fell below, that's the equivalent spot when it fell below on the daily chart. Now, if we zoom into the next chart, it's the NASDAQ. And again, the NASDAQ has got a similar pattern to the S&P. Bullish on the CCI 1500, but the CCI 150 is showing a bearish divergence. Same sort of pattern. I've drawn a target area there below that trend line. On the hourly, again, overbought with a couple of potential breaks to the downside. A few there, 1, 2, 3 there. But that didn't go far enough. So we need to see it again break below the 50 level to be very bearish on this. That's the NASDAQ. Next we look at the Japanese Nikkei. And again for the Japanese, very similar pattern. CCI 1500 bullish, the CCI 150 bearish divergence. And on the hourly, again, still in the overbought territory. Made a couple of attempts to break to the downside in this current trend here, and zooming in, we still have a bearish divergence on the hourly as well, and that's also falling off. If I was to draw Fibonacci on that one, coming back to that low, you can see there it's already penetrated that target area between the 23 and the 38%. Again, if it breaks much lower than that, especially if it breaks below the 61%, that could be the start of the major correction that we're all waiting for. But so far, still bullish on all markets. And lastly, the GermanDax. This is still showing bullish movement on all time frames. But again, we've got a bearish divergence on the CCI 150 on the daily. On the hourly, still overbought, no sign of a retrace below these levels of 75 initially. And we're still seeing movement. Zooming in on the 1 hour time frame, again a bearish divergence there as well versus higher highs on the price. Now if I was to draw a target area on this one as well, I'd probably take it to that recent low, to that high. Let's make it a bit, that high there. And that would be the target area, minimum target area of a retrace. And again, if it falls below the 61% and then eventually breaks below this trend line, then we may see further declines on our stochastic forecast market forecast down here. And again, we want to see this break down past the 50 level to be very bearish on it. To support us more, go to the Patreon page for Pete's Investing, where we also do weekly scans of blue chip shares that are trending along on a longer and medium term timeframes. Feel free to support us there, and we'll see you in a future video.